The eviction notice came in holographic gold, embossed, animated, and signed by something with 6 claws and a title no one could pronounce. Humans, of course, framed it. The eviction notice came in holographic gold, embossed, animated, and signed by something with 6 claws and a title no one could pronounce. Humans, of course, framed it. It blinked in cursive fire across every screen, billboard, and satellite. Eviction executed. Earth reassigned to Galactic Concord for energy extraction. The aliens didn't just invade, they scheduled it. Bureaucratically. Politely. The nerve. By the time the Drexery warships entered Earth orbit, no one even panicked. Earth's last Global Council had already passed a final resolution. Let them take it. We've got plans. Commander Eli Mercer leaned back in his chair at the temporary UN bunker in Geneva, sipping tea as the Araxi delegation broadcast its landing. They had the mannerisms of smug lizards with law degrees. One waddled up to the mic, blinking sideways. Citizens of Terra, you have been reassigned for galactic equilibrium. Your species will be respectfully relocated to the colony ring of Sargax IV. Congratulations. Resistance is biologically illogical. Eli set down his cup gently. No fireworks? No flags? Bit of a dull conquest, don't you think? The Araxi blinked again. Do you object, human representative? Eli smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Object? Oh no. I just assumed a race that steals homes might at least pretend to bring a casserole. The Drexery general behind the Araxi, armored, bristling, eyes like coals, growled. Your sarcasm will fade when your kind is vacuumed from this soil. Eli checked his watch. Right. So, you'll need about 8 minutes to set up extraction towers, correct? 5 to hijack the satellite grid. Another 3 for the ceremonial flag planting. I read the manual. He stood, smoothed his jacket, and nodded to the few remaining human leaders around him. We'll be on our way. Best of luck with the sun. The Araxi narrowed his gaze. The sun? Eli walked past without replying. 12 days later, Sol Relay Mining Station. The humans were gone. Peacefully. No resistance, no last stands. Drexery patrols confirmed it. Their cities were empty, oceans quiet, satellites offline. It was eerie. Over Earth now floated orbital mining arrays the size of continents, draining solar energy in neat hexagonal grids. The Thalvins celebrated the efficiency. Primitive monkeys, one of them wrote, have finally evolved into footnotes. Meanwhile, Sargax IV overflowed with human colonies. They smiled. They adapted. They worked on small farming systems, rebuilt local internets, and played old Earth music at night. But the tone was off, too polite, too cheerful. Like everyone was waiting for the punchline. General Kaler of the Drexery found it unsettling. They should be angry, he grunted in a briefing. Why are they smiling? A Thalvin scholar dismissed him. Because they lack vision. Their defeat is absolute. Commander Eli Mercer, now relocated to a quiet dome on Sargax IV, hosted the occasional press stream. Always smiling. Always calm. When asked why Earth fell without a fight, he replied, Fighting over land is a very old idea. We've moved on. He never said where. Somewhere between Venus and Mercury. A hidden relay station blinked to life. Shielded by magnetic interference and disguised as cosmic debris, it relayed encrypted pulses through the sun's chromosphere. Human engineers inside worked in silence, save for the occasional dark joke. One scrawny tech adjusted the harmonic stabilizer and asked, Do you think they'll notice? Eli, now clad in a civilian coat and surrounded by walls of plasma data, replied without looking up. By the time they notice, they'll be part of the atmosphere. Back at Earth, Galactic Oversight broadcast. The Araxi governor recorded his midterm address. Progress continues as scheduled. Solar extraction at 74%. The humans remain docile. Species evaluation downgraded from mildly erratic to harmless. Behind him, the Earth glowed. But the sun pulsed slightly wrong. The Araxi didn't notice. In one corner of the screen, a strange solar flare twisted sideways. A Thalvan physicist monitoring the footage paused the recording, frowning. "Play that again," she muttered. "Is that a spiral flare?" She ran the scan. The sun wasn't flaring. It was pulsing, rhythmically. Artificially. "Impossible," she whispered. "Nothing can do that." Sargax 4, Human Colony. The weekly settlement update went live. Children played in simulated parks. People built homes from old shipping crates and laughed around campfires. It all looked peaceful. Then Eli appeared on every screen. His voice was light, smooth, amused. "Good evening, neighbors. Just checking in from Sector 6. Lovely weather here. Slight increase in plasma tension, but I'm sure it's nothing. Do hydrate." He winked. "Remember, always respect the fire." Alien interpreters translated the message. None understood the joke. In a secure Galactic Council room, the Thalvan scientists played solar scans to the Council. Loops of twisting light, unusual wave harmonics, sunspot shifts in geometric precision. "Something's inside the star," she said. The Drexery general laughed. "What, you think the humans are building inside a star? They couldn't even defend their own dirt ball." The scientist didn't laugh. "They didn't defend dirt," she said. "They're altering the sun." Silence. The Araxi representative checked the official human threat classification. Still said, "Low." He quietly raised it to "uncertain." Back on the relay station, solar orbit, Eli entered the control chamber, where rows of engineers calibrated wave arrays. "How's she holding?" he asked. An officer turned. "Stable. The Helios net is at 93% integration. Final ignition test in 40 hours. "Good," Eli said. "Let them enjoy their sunsets." He walked to the viewport. The sun blazed before him, massive, alive, boiling with intent. Beneath its surface, hidden in plasma currents, lay the dormant net, a solar manipulation system crafted from human ingenuity, desperation, and just enough madness. They took Earth. But the humans had taken the sun. Not as a star. As a weapon. "I don't understand," snapped Counselor Vryn, slamming a clawed fist on the crystalline table. "They left. They gave up the planet like whipped larvae. So why is the star behaving like it's in pain?" The room was silent. Drexery, Araxi, Thalvans, all present. All uneasy. High above in orbit, Earth floated quiet and drained. The mining rigs hummed, extracting. The oceans remained untouched, cities cold and empty. But the sun pulsed. Not with heat. With purpose. A hologram of soul hovered midair. Once steady and burning, now it oscillated every 88 seconds. Patterns. Mathematical. Like it was ticking. Sargax 4, Human Settlement Dome 12. Eli Mercer sat alone at a cafeteria table, watching a plant grow in a recycled tin can. Across the dome, families chatted, laughter echoed. The humans appeared happy. Too happy. "You're awfully calm," said a voice. Eli didn't look up. He recognized it, Erixalon, the alien observer assigned to evaluate species integration. She was tall, with chitin armor skin and a voice like breaking glass. "I find stress unproductive," Eli replied, sipping black coffee. "Besides, we've always been adaptable. You take our land, we take a breath." Erixa narrowed her eyes. "You didn't resist." "No. That would have been emotional." "So you accepted the Council's judgment?" He smiled politely. "Accepted? My dear, we thanked you." That bothered her. She turned, antenna twitching. "You're hiding something." Eli's smile didn't budge. "We're human, Erixa. We always hide something." Solar orbit, Helios relay station. Commander Ruth Zhang stood at the helm, watching data spiral across the screens. The solar net webbed beneath the sun's surface like a ghost lattice, invisible to most scans, but not to them. "We've completed Phase 3, her chief engineer reported. Plasma resonance has synced to internal structures. The core is compliant. Zhang didn't celebrate. Her voice remained clinical. And what's the council seeing? He smirked. Normal solar instability. They think it's a radiation loop from Earth's mining. Zhang exhaled. Perfect. The more they believe it's natural, the less they'll understand when it stops being natural. Galactic Council Core Room, 3 days later. Something's wrong, said the Thalvan physicist. Her voice was soft but firm. Solar output has reduced by 4%. No cause. No instability. It's deliberate. Stars do not reduce output deliberately, growled General Kayla. They do now. Another pause. The humans, she said. Kayla scoffed. They lost. They didn't even fight. They didn't need to. They're building something inside that star. And you moved their entire species right next to it. The counselor from Rune 7 leaned forward, voice trembling. Are we looking at solar manipulation? No, the physicist replied. You're looking at the first weaponized star. Broadcast stream, Sargax 4. Every screen lit up across human colonies. Eli appeared again, suit pristine, voice warm. Hello again, neighbors. Just a friendly reminder, avoid staring directly at the sun in the coming days. Might cause discomfort. He smiled. Paused. Oh. And congratulations to the Council on reaching 80% solar drain. Very efficient. Reminds me of an old Earth saying, measure twice, cut once. You did measure the sun, right? The broadcast ended. Alien translators ran simulations on the phrase. It didn't help. Galactic Council Emergency Meeting. This is psychological warfare, Counselor Vryn barked. They're threatening us with riddles. No. Arixalon cut in, joining remotely from Sargax 4. They're not threatening. They're reminding. Of what? She stared at them all. That they smile when they're angry. She uploaded a classified log, humans playing cards while planning nuclear deterrence. Humans joking on forums during wartime blackouts. Humans making memes about extinction-level events. The file's title, Polite Madness. Helios Relay Station, Final Calibration. Zhang stepped onto the observation deck. The sun looked unchanged. It still flared, burned, roared like always. But they had rewired its spine. Final sync? She asked. Helios Net is fully active, replied the AI. Awaiting trigger from command. Then, we wait. She glanced at a quiet screen. Eli's face was there. Just waiting for the right time. Sargax 4, Human Briefing Room. It wasn't flashy. No uniforms. Just Eli, 5 commanders, and a whiteboard. He clicked a marker. Timeline? Zhang's voice filtered in. We've reached ignition threshold. The sun can collapse sectors on signal. 3-second latency. Casualties? Only if they don't move. Fast. Eli nodded. Good. He turned to the room. We didn't lose Earth, he said. We let them carry the eggshell while we built the nuke inside the yolk. We've spent decades making it seem like we're just clever apes with coffee addictions. Now they'll see what happens when we stop pretending. One commander raised a brow. Signal? Eli smiled. Not yet. They need one last reminder. Galactic Council, 1 day later. A new transmission arrived. This time, encrypted. No visuals. Just a calm voice. Eli. You took our home, he said. You called it primitive. Weak. Temporary. You believed humans were linear, emotional, reactionary. A beat. You were wrong. Another beat. You didn't take Earth. We let you. So we could take the sun. Silence. Then. And now it's not a star anymore. It's a decision. Yours. The message ended. No threat. Just a truth. The sun pulsed once more. Harder this time. Like it had a heartbeat. The sun blinked. Not metaphorically. Not a flare or burst. It blinked, as if something beneath its skin closed the lid for half a second and reopened it with intent. Across 12 systems, sensors fried. The Thalvin archives reported it as a stellar hiccup. The Araxi called it a sun stutter. And the Rune 7 priests dropped to their knees in silence, abandoning their ancient chant. They weren't sure what they had seen. But they all agreed on one thing. It had seen them back. Sargax 4, Human Command Sublevel 19. Give me numbers, Eli said. Commander Ruth Thang's voice echoed through the Neuralink. Photon compression is stable. Lattice integrity holding. We're at 92% ignition readiness. And the aliens? Terrified. Scans show their fleets are pulling back from Sol's heliobause. They think we're running a ritual. Eli chuckled. Good. Let them think we pray before we strike. A pause. Ready to give the sun a voice? Zhang didn't hesitate. Always. Galactic Council, Emergency Hologrid. Humans have turned their star into a sentient reactor. Counselor Vryn howled, his scales flashing emergency red. That is not scientifically, began the Thalvin scientist, before she stopped, visibly pale. Data streamed across the holograms. Gamma readings. Gravitational stutters. Fusion waves folding like origami. And at the center, a pulse signature, 4 spikes every minute. Not random. Morse code. Arixa translated. Run! It repeated. Again. And again. Human archive broadcast, sector-wide. The humans released footage. Not violent. Not threatening. Just home videos. A boy kicking a ball against a half-burned wall. A mother teaching her daughter how to make tea using solar-heated stones. A grandfather tuning an old guitar, sitting where Chicago once stood. Behind every scene, the earth. Ruined. Taken. But not forgotten. The final image? A single sunflower blooming between cracked asphalt. Text faded in. You took the flower. We rewired the sun. Sargax 4, Briefing Chamber Delta. Eli stood over the 3D schematic of the solar core. The lattice now resembled a ribcage, pulsing, shifting, alive. His fingers tapped a rhythm on the table, slow, then fast, then sharp. Any word from the council? He asked. Lieutenant Ortez shrugged. Radio silence. They're in panic mode. Good. Let them scramble. We gave them the polite warning. Now they wonder what happens if they ignore it. Someone in the back muttered. The polite threat was better. Eli smiled. Humans are always better at threats when we're smiling. Araxi fleet, orbiting Jupiter's shadow. The alien fleet floated in near silence. Warships. Cargo haulers. Biovessels. All idling in a cold hush. General Sci-Fi stared at the distant sun. He could feel it watching them. It's not a star, his second-in-command whispered. No, Sci-Fi said. It's a blade. And the humans? They're smiling while they sharpen it. Helios Relay Station, Inner Core. Zhang stepped into the control deck. The heat shimmered behind the reinforced screens. The sun's layers moved like fluid armor. She touched a panel. The solar lattice answered. Spoke in pulses. Patterns. Language. The engineers watched in awe. We taught it to burn on purpose, one whispered. No, Zhang replied. We taught it to choose. Galactic Council broadcast, sent by humans. One video. No encryption. Eli Mercer. Alone. Calm. He stood on a rooftop beneath Sargax's violet sky, sipping coffee. I understand the confusion, he said. You thought we were irrational, sentimental, reactive. He chuckled. You weren't wrong. We are sentimental. We name hurricanes. We cry at piano songs. We take pictures of food before eating it. A pause. Then a shift. But sentiment makes us dangerous. It means we remember. He leaned forward. You took Earth. That wasn't an attack. That was a trigger. The screen flickered. Behind Eli, the sun blinked again. But this time, it smiled. The pulse pattern now read. We built a heart. Sargax 4, Council Infiltration Unit briefing. Arixilon paced, visibly shaken. They didn't just survive. They adapted. They built a retaliatory mechanism inside a celestial body. That's divine-level warfare. Someone scoffed. They're still monkeys with tools. Arixa stopped. And you're the idiot who gave the monkey a wrench. Dang's final calibration. Ready? Eli's voice filtered in. Zhang nodded to no one. Phase 4 is primed. Trigger delay set. We give them 7 minutes. To run? To beg. Final Galactic Council session. They didn't call it that. But they knew. It was final. We underestimated them, whispered the priest from Run 7. They let us underestimate them, Vrin muttered. They played weak. The Thalvan physicist, pale and shaking, stood. We always thought stars were engines. We never imagined they could be bombs. And what now? Kayla asked, voice hoarse. The room fell silent. Then came the answer. Not from any counselor. From the sun. The star pulsed again. And the code translated. 7 minutes. Sargax 4, Eli's last message. Eli watched the countdown flicker. I offered peace, he said, voice quiet. I smiled. I made jokes. I gave you time. He turned toward the camera. Now you'll understand something very human. A pause. Then soft. We only look harmless until we're done warning you. The screen faded. T-7 o'clock. There was no more chatter in the Galactic Council. No debates. No grandstanding. Not after the sun's final message. 7 minutes? They'd called humans emotional. Primitive. Unstable. But now the council sat frozen, watching the soul star pulse like a ticking war drum. Rhythmic. Purposeful. In their silence, they realized the most terrifying truth wasn't the weaponized sun. It was that this had never been about revenge. It was discipline. T-621, Sargax 4, Helios Control Core. Status? Eli asked. Zhang's fingers flew across the interface. Her voice calm. Stellar compression stable. No tremors. No blowback. Conduits? Open. Directed. Locked on coordinates for Council's central moon cluster. Eli exhaled. Give them one last chance. Zhang didn't look up. They already had it. Twice. I know, Eli said. Still. One final courtesy. We're human after all. He tapped the comms. Broadcast channel, wide range, universal language. He spoke slowly. This is Commander Eli Mercer of what used to be Earth. We have directed a solar wave to your capital. It is traveling at 0.7 C. You have 60 seconds before initial ionization. After that, nothing grows in your sky for 100 generations. Silence followed. He waited. Nothing. He shook his head. Then let them taste sunlight. T-515, Council orbit. Ambassador Vrin sprinted through the crystalline halls, panting. Override their control systems. Jam the wave! The Thalvan physicist screamed back. It's not a wave! It's layered plasma folding itself around gravitational ripples. You can't jam a sun! The Run 7 priest dropped to his knees again. But this time he wasn't praying. He was weeping. They warned us, he said. They smiled, Vrin growled. That was the trap. They always smiled. T-4 o'clock, Zhang's final interface. The solar lattice vibrated. The containment field around the solar core dimmed, then flared. Zhang nodded. Ignition sequence holding. 4-prong output. One directed at the Council moons. One angled toward reserve fleets near Deneb. The others, distraction bursts. Eli's tone sharpened. Make the distraction beautiful. She grinned. Want them to see God before they go? No, Eli said. I want them to realize we built him. T-325, across the stars. Alien ships scrambled. Thousands. The Araxi spun cloaking fields across their dreadnoughts. The Talvarn tried to fold their ships into subspace, but found nothing there. Humans had laced the warp lanes with interference mines weeks earlier. The Council moons lit up with emergency shields. Transparent, flickering domes humming under strain. Too late. The first light reached them. It wasn't heat. It was understanding. The moment when every being in that system realized the star wasn't just flaring, it was speaking. A final pulse rippled across gravity wells. A message encoded not in words, but in fusion harmonics. You don't get to keep what you stole. T-2 o'clock, Sargax 4, observation deck. The deck flooded with golden light, filtered through layered glass and darkened shielding. Zhang stood still. Looks like sunrise. Eli leaned against the railing. Looks like closure. In the distance, the simulated Earthscape flickered on the hollow walls, trees, oceans, laughter. Then silence. Then fire. T-1 o'clock, Council Moon Alpha. The shield shattered without ceremony. Just a soft crack, like ice under pressure. Then the sky peeled open. Ships buckled. Moons split like overripe fruit. Cities turned to dust in midair. One by one, the command centers vanished, silhouetted in flame, reduced to silhouette, then nothing at all. In one final transmission, a Talvarn admiral whispered, "They built the end into the beginning." T-midnight, Helios Pulse achieves full detonation. The solar wave expanded into structured paths, carving trails across space like divine threads. Where it touched metal, it melted. Where it touched life, it erased. The Council fell. Not with screams or epic resistance, but with realization. The apex predator hadn't arrived with claws. It had arrived in courtesy. Aftermath, 12 days later. The galaxy didn't hear from the humans for 12 days. Then a single beacon, soft and unencrypted, whispered across the stars. Conflict concluded. Human territory reinstated. Remaining council members may approach with hands empty, heads lowered, and intentions recorded. This will be your only grace. We smile when we win, but we only laugh when it's over. Sargax 4, Eli's final debrief. He stood before the remaining command crew. Zhang. Ortez. The last dozen tacticians. No applause. No ceremony. Just a quiet room and a new sun rising in the simulated sky. Eli sipped black coffee. Mission complete, Zhang said. Eli nodded. No glory. No medals. Ortez spoke. No survivors. He looked up. That wasn't the goal. Zhang asked. Then what was? Eli answered without emotion. To remind them. He looked out the window. The simulated Earth glowed bright and calm. Humans are not here because we're kind, he said. We're here because we end things that overstep. Final scene, broadcast to all remaining systems. The screen turned on. Eli again. No threats. No weapons. Just a question. One sun. He held up a finger. One. That's all it took. He leaned in. Imagine if we got creative. Then came the smile. And then blackout.